Thank you for joining the Build Overview video for eSchool Data version 9.3. Today we're going to cover some of our newly enhanced features that were released in this version. The first item that we're going to go over is the Student Digital Access Survey available on the Parent Portal. With release 9.3, we have included a new Student Digital Access Survey to be displayed on the Parent Portal. In order to enable this, you're going to select a building, and you're going to go to Interoperability, ESP, and then Settings. From there, you're going to see a new Digital Access Survey. Each building will have the ability to enable or disable the Digital Access Survey. Once enabled, you have the ability to select the school year, which will be the current year that school is in session. Next, you have the ability to decide whether or not you want parents to be able to select the building or if you want to leave it defaulted to the student's current building. If this is disabled, then when the parent submits their survey, it will automatically be associated with the student's current school. If this option is enabled, then the parents will have a drop-down with any school that the student was previously enrolled in. The buildings each have the ability to decide whether or not they want to enforce the Digital Access Survey or just allow parents to go in and fill it out whenever they're ready. If Enforced Digital Access Survey is enabled, then the district user will want to go in and select a date. Once that date is in place, any parent accessing their student information that has a survey that was submitted prior to this date will get prompted to fill out a new survey before they continue. Now, when I log in as a parent and I access a student that is in a building that has the Digital Access Survey enforcement enabled, I'm first going to be prompted to fill out the Digital Access Survey prior to moving on. So once the parent fills in all of the questions, they can submit the form and move on. This form is available in English as well as Spanish. Any parent that resides in a household that has the translation flag set to yes and the household language of Spanish will see this form presented in their preferred language. After the survey is saved, the parent will be brought into their student profile where they will have access to go into the Digital Access Survey tab here, and they can see their previously submitted survey. If they notice that something is incorrect and they want to fill out a new survey, there's a button down at the bottom where they'll be presented a new survey to fill out and submit. Along with the Digital Access Survey, we've provided this Digital Access Verification Report. This report is going to show all of the digital access surveys that were submitted by the parent, where the district users will have the ability to go in and review the survey details. By simply viewing the student, they'll be brought to their status page where they'll see the information that the parent had filled out. If everything looks okay, then the district can go ahead and verify the information, and they'll see that the status has been verified next time they go to look at the student status so that they can see that this was submitted by a parent and it was reviewed by somebody internally. The next new feature that we are going to go over is the Attendance Exceptions Report. Located under Reports, Enrollment, and Enrollment Exceptions, we have the Attendance Data Exceptions Report, which pulls in any student that has attendance values that exist outside of the student's start and end dates for their enrollment records. We have provided the ability for users to view the specific attendance details that are associated with the student. And from there, if they have the permissions to edit attendance events and delete attendance events, then they will see the edit and delete icons where they can go ahead and adjust the attendance event dates so that they fall within the student's enrollment record. They also have the ability to clear out any present or absent data that may have been entered on accident for the student prior to them being transferred out or having their enrollment record adjusted. The next new feature that we're going to go over is the attendance status override, which is in relation to New York State reporting requirements. In addition to reporting the students' modalities and whether or not they were learning in a virtual setting, you also need to present whether or not the student was learning in the building or out of the building. Right now, we will be linking that with the modalities, so any student that is set as remote for the day will show as being out of the building, and any student that is scheduled to be in person and learning in school will send the in. If by chance that default needs to be changed, you have the ability to go in and select this new status override feature. What this feature will do is just send the opposite value that is expected from our default logic. So any student that is present and at school will instead be sent as with present out instead of present in. The next highlights that we're going to go over are on Teacher Connect. With this release, teachers that are utilizing the seating chart will now have the ability to increase their maximum columns to 10. Previously, this was restricted at 8, but we have increased it to 10 so that the teachers can have a better representation of their actual class layout. In the Teacher Connect gradebook, any district that is currently utilizing the Google Classroom integration will now have the ability for their teachers to sync all of their assignments for the selected marking period en masse, instead of having to individually sync the assignments or wait until the nightly sync job happens from Guru. The teachers will have this new sync icon up at the top, and once they select that, it will sync all of the assignments just in the selected marking period for the selected class. The next highlights that we are going to go over are for Guru. With release 9.3, there is going to be a new permission added for a Guru Quick Launch icon. In order to add that, you're going to go to System, Administration, and Group Maintenance, and select Edit for any of the existing groups. From there, if you go to the module level permissions and miscellaneous, down at the bottom there will be a new selection for Guru Quick Launch. When this permission is enabled, then any user that has assigned a group with that permission will have this new icon at the top, which will be a quick launch into their Guru board. Another new feature in Guru is in relation to our daily attendance and our period attendance endpoints. Vendors will now have the ability to decide whether or not they want to include present details. A reason why somebody may want to include present details is if they want to be able to include the modalities for all students, whether or not they are present or absent. If you opt to include present data, we also recommend using the date filter in conjunction to reduce your data set. Now we'll go over just some minor enhancements that we've also added to the system with this release. With 9.3, we've improved our calendar navigation when on the monthly view so that users can just easily move forward and backward between the months instead of having to select a month from the dropdown and then switch the year. This should save some time, especially when switching between December and January, so you don't have to instruct the users to go in and change the year up at the top. It'll automatically just jump to the future year. Another feature that's been added under the Setup Day Code page has been the Schedule Populate Present option. What this is going to do is allow districts to schedule a date range where the attendance sync and data population process can be run for a range of time. This process includes populating present data that may be missing and also includes rerunning the attendance closeout. Users will be prevented from scheduling a job that overlaps with an already existing job. Once a job is scheduled, you'll be able to see who scheduled the job, whether it was initiated, and whether or not the job has completed. Another new feature with this release is an additional selection under the course options. If you select the early warning option, then any course that has this flag selected will be included when running the early warning maps so that you can use them in middle schools and elementary schools without also having to flag the course for transcripts or class ranks. And the final new feature that's been introduced is the ability to export your Study Hall Wizard reports to Excel. So now when your users go to scheduling, Study Hall Wizard, and reports, they'll see a new option to export the report to Excel. And that concludes our release highlights. If you have any questions or would like some more details about the content that was included, please visit the help site and select the release notes for version 9.3.